Hi, I'm Lisa.
Hi, I'm Michael.
And this is Michael and Lisa White on YouTube.
Our topic today is, what do we mean when we say it's an inside job? We're going to talk about that today. Stay tuned.
So what is an inside job? It is basically things that are done within yourself. To achieve happiness, success, humility, peace, you often need to look at what's going on internally within inside of you. First, we need to become aware of things. Sometimes we're not even aware that there are issues or problems or things that we have going on internally because we're unaware of them. So we have to do what it takes in order for us to even first become aware that there's some things that we need to deal with.
And how do you become aware of that? Well, let's just say that one person you run across that day tells you, hey, you're kind of mean. You're like, okay, we can that's one person. Consider the source, and you know who you are. We run across the second person, and they say,
you're mean.
And you're like, wait a minute. Well, I know this person. Okay, well, maybe it's just a fluke. But then we run across that third person, and they look at you like, why are you mean today? Guess what we have to do? That's called, now we have to be aware that there's three people and the common denominator is you. Become aware of some things that you probably need to reflect on, look inside on, to change what you need to change.
Now, sometimes that can be a challenge because that means you actually have to accept responsibility for some of the things that are going on in your life.
Ownership?
That means you have to take ownership for that.
My fault? No way.
It's never your fault.
No.
Let me shine your halo. Then once you get through these things, you become aware of them, you accept it, then you can start taking some action towards changing it.
Effort? Oh. I have to get off the couch. I have to actually move.
Do some work. This requires work.
Oh, you're asking a lot of me.
So some of the things that might be holding you back that you need to address and go internally and look at are things like trauma. Maybe you've been through something traumatic in your life, like we have several times, that requires some of your attention, because if you ignore it, they can lash out in some very nasty ways.
It can manifest and build, right? We have these minds, right? These magnificent, magnifying minds that can take something small and grow it and grow it and grow it. Now, if you think that you haven't had anything traumatic in your life, scratch that word out and use this one. What about personal hurts or painful memories that you just can't shake? How is that affecting you today?
Family history. See, there were a lot of times that I would blame my family for how my life was as a child and growing up, but it wasn't until I went back in my family history and learned about the struggles they had. What challenges were they dealing with? How were they raised as children? So when I got to see the effects of their parenting upon them, it made me realize, well, no wonder why they're the way that they are and parented me this way, because of what they went through. So there's a lot of history that you can go back and look at to help explain why you are the way you are today.
Uncover the mystery of you. When you do that, when you know you have information. Information about you is good, but information alone does nothing for you. You can know it all, and it does nothing unless you can do something with that information that promotes or provides or encourages you to change.
Also, goals. Goals are something that took me many years to even consider. I didn't really have them growing up. It was just kind of like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to go do it. But having some goals, thinking about what it is you want to do in life. What's your purpose? Why are you here? How quickly do you want to achieve those things? That's something that you have to go with inside to look at yourself. Otherwise, you're just complacent.
I remember when Lisa said long time ago, she said her goal was to have a last name of White because Lisa White is so clean. And when we started dating, she used to say that to me, and I'm like, she's playing me. I mean, who wants, it's just a last name of White. It's plain. But then she told me her second goal, that she wanted to be married for 25 years to a bald guy. And I was like, you're going to get that.
Winner.
Ding, ding, ding. Tell her what you won.
I won the full package. It also helped me evaluate what my strengths and weaknesses are. I don't have to be strong at everything, but there are some things that I hold true to myself that I'm really good at. I'm OCD about a certain types of things, and then there are some things I'm not very good at. Those I delegate off to Mike because usually he's good at the opposite things that I'm not good at. But together we make a great team. Even at work, being able to say, hey, this is where I really succeed. I am really good at this, and finding places within my work or within our business that hold true to the responsibilities that I need to do. Because I'm good at those things, it reduces the time that we have to spend in those areas. The same with Mike. What Mike is really good at, he spends his majority of the time working on those areas because it helps us condense the time frame that we need in order to achieve our goals.
And it also goes along with another thing that we believe is to work in your strength and your power and manage your weaknesses.
Exactly.
Because that, when you work in those areas, you bring energy, you're energized, you feel good, you feel competent, you feel accomplished, and you don't feel so drained when you work in your weaknesses for long periods of time. It just doesn't work. So you try to manage it, and you do the best you can, just like we have. And, and I have it on recording now that she says she has weaknesses.
That's going to be his new ringtone.
Yes, it is.
Through a personal inventory that I took, I learned about the people that I need to forgive and the people I need to ask forgiveness from. And sometimes that even included forgiving myself. So a personal inventory can be pretty detailed. You can learn about it by researching it on Google, how to take a personal inventory. But it was extremely important for me to go through that process. Did it years ago, and because of that, it revealed a lot about who I was, where I was, why I was the way I was, and I was able to really do some hard work around that. And because of that, it has helped me tremendously in my life the years that have followed. See, it's easy for us to run on autopilot. We get caught up in the complacency day after day. We feel very comfortable just doing the same thing. It helps propel us to move forward. But it keeps us from finding out who we really are. Who is our true self? And so by going inward and looking at the inside, you begin to know who you are, why you're here, what is your purpose. This can be very difficult to face. Oftentimes we don't want to go back and look at some of those things. Some of those things can be very scary. They can bring back a lot of traumatic events, memories that we don't want to deal with.
Feelings.
Yeah, feelings. But it does force us to be accountable, to take a look at what our part in the situations are. And it requires you to be truly honest with yourself. Sometimes I even had to go seek help from a professional. There were some times when I couldn't see things clearly, or I didn't know how to heal from them, whether it was PTSD from trauma, how to move forward. Sometimes I got stuck because I only know what I know. So I had to go find help, find information and help from other people who could guide me through that process.
So it's important to check your pride at the door. It's important to check your ego at the door. Look at these people out there who are resources to helping you discover yourself, counsel with, struggle with, because we all have people that care for us, and they care for us so much that they have an agenda for us that may not be what we want to do. That's called a little influence. Sometimes in life, you have to have an objective person to run things by. We all need people to counsel with. Ultimately, we're adults. What comes out of our mouth and what comes in our behaviors, we are responsible for.
Right.
But we can get counsel, listen to an objective view, and then make our decision. And that's important as well. And through our lives, like Lisa said, if there's times when Lisa has gotten counsel that allowed her and I to stay together. There was times in our life when we went through a very tough time for a decade. I used to tell her, you just need to go. You need to leave me, get away from me, take our son and move away from me because I'm not good for you or our son right now. And she went and counseled with women. And many women said, you should leave, you should go. But a group of women told her something different and allowed her to stick and stay. Because I wasn't doing anything other than just trying to heal. I wasn't present, but I wasn't abusive in any way. Only to myself at that time. And here we are today working on 26 years. So there's a lot of history there.
So through this process, I've been able to learn who I am, where I came from, what do I want out of life, who do I want to be, what is my purpose here, what is your purpose here. Once you start learning about what's on the inside, that's when the magic happens. That's when you can start using that to affect what's going on the outside. That is when life gets exciting.
Another way I like to say that is when you discover, uncover, and you can decide to discard. The outside environment has a little to play with it, but it's an inside job.
If you like what you heard today, make sure that you leave a comment below, hit the like button and the subscribe button. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Till then,
bye.
See you later.